the Pit and Paddock Racing Show. NASCAR was back at Atlanta for the Bumper Cars 400, where we were all set for another three-wide race to the finish, but instead we got a signature NASCAR last lap caution. Handing the win over to Christopher Bell. Just behind him were Carson Hocevar and Kyle Larson.
Yeah, the big question really is who would have made it to checkers first if it hadn't gone yellow? Because I don't think Bell was going to hold on up there.
Looking at momentum, I think it might have been Hocevar. He had kind of a better run, but we'll never know, will we? Because we had to throw the caution this time, which is different from Daytona where we didn't throw the caution, and then the dual race where we did throw the caution. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a dartboard if we throw it or not.
We'll never know. Just like communism. Never know if it would work or not. Nobody did it right.
Oh, that's right. Next time it will.
Yeah. Those other people didn't do it properly.
The race started off pretty uneventful. Josh Berry took stage one. No huge incidents.
Once again, the Fords looked promising.
Yeah, the Penske Fords dominated the race and don't get the win. Pretty standard at the super speedways.
Yeah.
Kyle Larson, surprisingly, took stage two. He usually is awful at the super speedways, but had a decent showing.
Yeah. Oh, my number two man, Gilligan, led an entire lap. Maybe 1.5. I'm not sure.
He was around the top 10 most of the race. Some of the race, at least, when I was watching. Lap 150, Ricky Stenhouse. Surprisingly, Ricky Stenhouse got up into Elliott and put him up into the wall. Took out Corey LaJoie and Brad Keselowski.
Is LaJoie the one that cashed in his son's college fund to get into the Daytona 500?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is 2 races in a row he got crashed out.
Yes, but he got it paid back with his Daytona 500 cash out, or his sponsor. So that's covered.
Okay.
No need to worry.
His son can still go to college and get his degree in gender studies.
Yes. Or Corey LaJoie Jr., or I don't know if that's his name, but I just assume it is because that's how it works in NASCAR.
Yeah.
The action ramped up in the final stage. Lap 183, little Ty Gibbs got into Suarez and took out a bunch of other cars.
Yeah. Bastard took out my man Custer, too.
That was a big one. Lap 200, the final crash there at the end. Briscoe, Buescher, and Bowman all out.
It sounds like a personal injury law firm.
After that crash, that kind of makes sense.
Seems quite appropriate. You know, why don't personal injury lawyers sponsor NASCAR events? I mean,
I've only seen it a couple times. What's that Lerner and Rowe I've seen on a car before?
Glenn Lerner. He was from New York. He's like, Glenn Lerner.
27 laps to go. Carson Hocevar got up into Ryan Blaney, who had probably the best car all day.
Blaney got screwed again. Man, he needs to hang out with Lucky Lord Byron, who actually wasn't that lucky. So,
well, that brings me down to 3 laps to go when Cindric and Byron spin out, who also had the top 2 cars of the day. Cindric,
not so lucky Lord Byron.
Not this time. Man, the Penskes.
Yeah.
The final lap, Josh Berry crashed, who was pretty much the 4th Penske car, who also was really good all day.
I'm thinking even a push to pass button's not going to help these guys.
Push to not crash.
Yeah.
That's when the caution was thrown on looked like about turn 3, and Christopher Bell was in the lead when the light came on. So I guess we're now throwing the yellow for crashes on the last lap.
What happened to the green-white checker?
That was, they did throw the green-white checker, but if the caution comes out once they take the white flag, that's it.
That's it.
If there's another flag, then the race is over. If they haven't taken the white, they'll run it again.
Do you need to throw the caution when there's nobody in front of the leaders and they're doing just fine? You can't just let them race to the checker.
That's what I was like, if there's nothing going on up there, But then that's the rest of the field behind them. What's going on back there is a bunch of cars going to drive through stuff.
Yeah, like it matters.
Yeah, just don't.
How about yellow for everybody behind wherever the yellow comes out at?
This was like a local yellow.
Exactly.
They should be able to do that. Freeze the field from a certain point back, like where the crash is behind. You guys are frozen. Everyone ahead can finish the race up and race for position. I remember it was up until like the 2000s when they used to race back to the line after a crash.
Oh yeah, why not do that?
And, well, Dale Jarrett knocked out on the front stretch in the middle of the track. I guess was not a good look.
That was an outlier.
Did you see post race? There was like a line of drivers lined up at Carson Hocevar, just giving him a good talking to.
Reminded me of that scene from Airplane where the hysterical woman and everybody's lined up to slap her.
I saw somebody post a meme that here's the line of drivers to see Hocevar, and it was that exact that clip. Leslie Nielsen slapping her in the face.
Some guy's got some brass knuckles.
Man, there was at least Chastain and Blaney, and that was kind of funny.
Hey, Ben Ginsberg, Gisbin, what the hell is his name? Gibbon?
SVG.
Yeah. He was in this race.
Yeah, he's full time this season.
Did he got a full time ride? Right on. It makes me think that everybody should put Van in front of their name, like Van Larson, Van Briscoe, Van Gibbs.
That sounds kind of more exciting. You sound more important that way.
Yeah, it sounds exotic. Hey, Van Gilliland. That one doesn't work.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah. If Ricky Bobby raced, it'd be Van Bobby.
That sounds even more redneck somehow.
Yeah, I know. Nothing sounds as redneck as the YouTube guy, though.
Cletus?
Cletus.
That's a stage name, which is a pretty good stage name.
We should switch to stage names. I want to be Dr. Goon. I want to the point where people think I'm a real doctor, like Biden's wife, like that. Yeah. And they all call me doctor.
You have to. Only people that aren't real doctors insist on being called doctor, I've noticed.
If I went back and got a doctorate, I would make everybody call me doctor. Like at Thanksgiving. Would you like some mashed potatoes, doctor?
Would you wear a white lab coat around all the time just to emphasize the point?
Yes.
That's a good choice.
I don't know what I'd get my doctorate in. Maybe like historical theology or something that's far from the medical field, just to make it more ridiculous.
This man's hurt, I need help. Oh, I'm not that kind of doctor.
Oh.
Anyway.
What happened with the dust storm?
I saw a clip of the truck race. There was a big accident, and they had parked the trucks on the back stretch for the red flag, so they put a bunch of that speedy dry down, and the trucks were parked like right under a massive pile, and then the jet dryers come right by and blow it massive pile into the open windows of all the trucks. And Kyle Busch is swearing on the radio. They showed a clip of that, and all the drivers are like, one of them's like slamming their visor closed. Like, what are you guys doing over here?
They should have followed it up with a water truck. That would have been great.
Sprayed it. Sorry, we cleaned it off for you.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's like plaster of Paris. Oh, that's right.
Sorry, guys.
I'm sure that stuff doesn't cause cancer.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Cat litter. I will say that the Atlanta racing was much more interesting than Daytona after watching them both back to back. You could actually make runs and make moves. It wasn't just stuck in line, and it was actually interesting to watch. I liked it.
It was the bumping. More bumping like that would help.
Yeah, you could bump. You could take a run at someone and not make it, and still not get shuffled all the way to the back every single time. It was more like racing.
I could see a lot of empty seats though. Atlanta doesn't have all the colored seats, so it looks on TV like there's people there.
That's kind of weird because looks pretty entertaining on TV.
Yeah. I don't know. NASCAR's never gotten back to the pre-2007 numbers before we had a massive financial crash.
I've only seen them take out seats everywhere. If I lived close by, I would probably go.
They could do like Star Wars, in episode 1 when they're having the pod races and there's a crowd. It's a bunch of colored Q-tips. Like, right, because it's all miniature.
Oh, that miniature that they built.
Yeah, it's just colored Q-tips to create the crowd.
I'll get George Lucas on the phone.
Yeah. In other NASCAR news, fallout from the Daytona debacle continues as Briscoe and Joe Gibbs are fined 100 points each for modifying their spoiler.
Yeah, so if you're watching or listening right now, you are at least 51 points ahead of Chase Briscoe in the Cup Series standings. Congratulations, everyone.
The Truck Series is 51 points ahead of Chase.
Everyone in existence.
The ARCA guys.
Ricky Bobby is currently.
So who is the gay European dude?
Jean Girard?
Yeah. He is 51 points ahead of Briscoe. Why would they cut their spoiler up?
What I heard is that they cut the bolt holes so that, especially so the spoiler would flex more under the pressure of the downforce. Like it would lean down more. Like you could push on it and not notice it, but once so much air pressure would hit it, it would flex down more.
Oh, like the McLaren F1 car.
A little, and you couldn't see it because it was under the deck lid. So it was a pretty sneaky maneuver there.
Flexi spoiler.
And I believe he started from the pole, so it's probably pretty good. Probably worked, I guess.
Oh. And he got pulled for inspection.
Yeah. So 100 points, so I guess it was not worth it.
Briscoe, you've been randomly selected for further inspection.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Guy with the fastest time. Paint schemes this week. I was not impressed overall, but I did like the number 51 Arby's car, which sometimes I think is a good idea, but it always is not a good idea. Arby's.
Yeah. No, they all sucked. Like, it was less impressive than a Joe Biden rally. Like, so I ended up going with Martin's potato rolls because it's kind of different. It had kind of a unique yellow color, and everybody sucked anyway.
It was interesting. It was an interesting product, and it looked okay.
My wife eats potato bread because, she's gluten negative or whatever you call it, intolerant.
I like potato buns.
Really? Like, is it actually potato buns, or they shaped like potatoes, or they're made from potatoes?
No idea. It just says potato buns on it, and I don't really question it.
What was that dish from Thanksgiving that you were so disappointed in?
Oh, someone made what I thought was scalloped potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
And it was not. It was, what was it?
It was like chalk and oat milk or something. It was bad. It was terrible. Yeah.
It looked just like scalloped potatoes, and I was pretty excited about it, and it was not that.
It tasted like manila paper ground up, and
I got a nice good scoop of it, and was just...
Yeah, when your brain is thinking scalloped potatoes and you don't get scalloped potatoes, that's quite a disappointment.
It's like when you get that expecting a Coke or something, and it's a diet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like that. Like you think you're getting a Pepsi, but it's like a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, and you're like, no, that's not the right one. Anyway.
All right, bad paint scheme?
There was everyone, but I really didn't like the number 11 Yahoo car. It was purple, and they added a bunch of O's at the end of it. It looked kind of weird.
It's like a cheap way out.
Yeah.
I said the worst one was the number 23 Columbia car, just because those butt-ugly 80s colors, they don't belong together. Like in a gay nightclub, they don't belong together.
The Miami Vice car.
Yes, but bad. Like Don Johnson would never drive that car. I don't care if it was the fastest car, he would be like, I'll take the Testarossa. In other news, podcaster Cletus McFarland has more than 1.6 million views of his ARCA debut. More than the number of people who watched the Cup race on Fox. He beat the Cup race on a personal YouTube channel.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of
in over 4 days or 3 days. Over 3 days, he got more views than Fox got for the main race.
Oh, he's got 4 times as many YouTube followers as NASCAR itself, I believe. I think only IndyCar has fewer YouTube followers than NASCAR.
They're working on it, though.
I think it's improving. I wonder if they're over 100,000.
The commercials were, pretty good. They must have hired a decent marketing firm.
I think they did finally put some money into that. Yeah. It's been a while. NASCAR next week is headed to the Circuit of the Americas. The short track this time, they cut off the tip. The 2 long straightaways and the hairpin turn down at the end. So they cut that off. It'll be the short course.
Are they going to have track limits again? On the S's?
I heard they decided to just put up some tire barriers so we don't have to deal with that.
That might even be better.
Yeah, I don't want no official judgments. Just don't hit the tires. There you go.
What's better? Oh, Ricky Bobby hit track limits and has a penalty, or Ricky Bobby slammed into the tire barrier.
And there's too many cars to catch them all, so you get guys whining about the guy, and it's just like, well, he hit the tires, so that's the track limits.
Joe Gibbs is whining, but Bush did it first. Why didn't he get in trouble? In Formula One news, Ford Motorsports. I just did the newscaster voice right there on accident. Did you hear that? All right. In Formula One news, Ford Motorsports director Mark Rushbrook explained that they chose to make power units for Red Bull Formula One because of the potential to bring the electrification technology to Ford, which makes no sense because they're shutting down most of their electric vehicle lines because nobody buys them. I don't know why. Why? Come on, Ford.
Yeah, they're shutting everything down. It doesn't make sense. What I don't get is so IndyCar makes this expensive power unit upgrade to hybrid, last season, a couple seasons ago, with the intent of getting more manufacturers in the series, and that has resulted in no third manufacturer, including Ford, joining.
Thanks, Ford.
Also, Honda talking about leaving as a manufacturer. So, what? Yeah. How did that actually help IndyCar?
Well, yeah.
Side topic, but that's kind of annoying.
Why did they even go hybrid? Just because the Europeans did it? That's never been a good reason for anything.
And Ford's over here talking about wanting to bring electrification. Here's IndyCar in a much cheaper way to do it.
Could have done a lot of technology there. Probably just because there's a lot more advertising coming into Formula One and they wanted to be there.
Worldwide eyeballs.
Yeah. Yeah, Henry Ford once went to Europe during World War I at the head of some group to end the war. And then he ended up giving up after like a week and just spent all the time trying to sell tractors.
Fair.
Yeah. Maybe we could get some USAID money to help Ford get a Ford IndyCar engine together.
It's more interesting than Filipino transgender library books or something, whatever else we were spending it on.
Yeah. Well, there's not a lot going on in F1 this week, but next up is testing, and it's in Bahrain instead of Spain, probably because it rhymes.
So like Bollywood and Dollywood?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I was in Dollywood in December.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a Disneyland, except I think they have more rides. They have more roller coasters than Disneyland.
Really?
Yeah.
Surprising.
Dollywood's not bad. Like, it's smaller, so the parking's not so awful. And
is there less people than Disneyland?
Definitely.
I'm on board.
As we were walking in, there was this Indian family that was standing there at the map,
Did you tell staring them this at the map. Dollywood, not Bollywood.
I said.
That's rude.
You said we were going to Bollywood. This is not Bollywood. This is Dollywood. What is this? And my children jerked me away, and I didn't walk up behind them and do the Indian accent, but yeah, it's not Bollywood.
Excuse me, we're from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Just happens. In IndyCar news, Indycar announced a 6-episode reality show covering the 2025 championship season. I've never heard of this idea before. Is this brand new?
Copying the Europeans again?
Well, the good news is it's going to air on Fox Nation, the streaming service, so 0 people are actually going to see it.
Even Tucker Carlson, when he worked for Fox, said Fox Nation was awful.
What are they? I've seen some sort of Kevin Costner nature documentary and Cops reruns, I believe, are what I've seen that air on that. I don't know why anyone would pay for that.
Oh, I know. Well, more people than paid for CNN's streaming service.
Fair.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Except CNN spent like $500 million building their streaming service, and then it got canceled after 2 weeks.
Such a shame.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where some of the USAID money went also.
Create a streaming service for CNN.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. If you were a certain persuasion of media outlet, you got USAID money.
Yeah.
In the name of spreading democracy.
It's weird how there's a lot of layoffs in the media recently.
Huh. Oh, that's right. Somebody at CNN got their whole show canceled yesterday.
A shame.
Too bad.
Anyway, with the IndyCar season starting this weekend, I thought we could do a couple predictions.
Oh, yeah. Guaranteed to be wrong.
100% wrong. If it's right, it won't be.
Just be like Kramer on MSNBC, and whatever we say, bet the opposite, and then you'll win money.
Guaranteed. Start out with the series champion. I'm going to go with Pato O'Ward, finally breaking out this season.
I'm going to say Herta, Colton Herta. This is going to be his year.
Yeah, he finished strong last year.
Yeah.
For the Indy 500, I think Scott McLaughlin will win it, even because he has a Penske, and they always manage to do that somehow.
I'm going to go with Pato O'Ward. This is going to be his year.
Is it? Is it going to be his year to lead lap 199 again?
Yeah. Wait, Pato, is he in a Honda? He's going to
He's got a Chevy.
Oh, he won't win.
McLaren.
I should take that one back. Only the Hondas tend to win. The Indy 500.
I think they do a little better on fuel during that race.
Yeah, I think Honda builds their engine to win the Indy 500, and they don't care about the other races because nobody watches them.
Top rookie for the season? I've got Robert Schwartzman because he's got all of Mossad behind him. So that should be impressive.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with the Israelis. I was going to go with Kiffin, spelled with a K-Y, because his name sounds like he has hippie parents.
That's an unfortunate name. I've never heard that name before.
I just wanted to type Kiffin. It does sound a bit like Griffin, which is a mythical beast.
I've never said Kiffin out loud.
Yeah, unless you were drunk.
Most fuel mileage wins this season. I've got Scott Dixon with 8 fuel mileage wins.
Oh, yeah, he like sidles up to third place all the time on fuel mileage, doesn't he?
This is a long race. What the hell? Oh, Scott Dixon somehow is in second right now. What? He's got 140 laps on a tank of gas.
I should have copied you. I went with Danica Patrick on fuel mileage wins.
That's just the one.
Yeah. Well, next up, we've got St. Petersburg, and then Indy hits the snooze button for 6 weeks.
So what about thermal?
The thermal race is kind of like taking your sister to the high school dance. Like, it's just not that enjoyable, and it doesn't really count.
You just got to deal with it.
And if it turns out well, you've got other problems. In other news, the World Endurance Championship is considering adding driver ballast. So currently, there's an advantage to skinny drivers and small drivers. So they're going to do the ballast. Like, don't they do ballast for performance?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to do it for drivers, too. All the teams are in favor except the Japanese.
Oh, I wonder why.
No idea.
That seems to make it a little more fair.
Yeah.
I bet. Does F1 do ballast?
No, I think they have a minimum. They might have a minimum weight.
Okay.
Like, you can't go under the weight. Because you can go over. Who cares?
I know NASCAR has a minimum weight with everything.
Yeah.
Which means that you can then add extra weight where you want in the car if the lighter the driver is.
I know. I mean, if F1 had if weight wasn't an issue, or if they had ballast, they'd have Tony Stewart in F1. He could eat all the cheeseburgers he wants to. Well, that's it for this week.
That's it.
Next week we'll have the NASCAR road race and the
St. Pete.
I almost said St. Patrick, but yeah, whatever. Whatever. Who's St. Peter. Oh, that's the big one, because that's where the Vatican, cathedral is St. Peter, because he was the first pope.
We have the street races in Russia. Is that where it's
Yeah, St. Peter was the patron saint of Russia, too, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.